Okay, so now we know really what's going on, why it's going on, and all those things, but the main thing is what's next? What can we actually do to help with headaches and migraines and hopefully make it so we don't get them, or even if we do get them, that they don't last as long and they're not as severe, and that we can get rid of them a little bit easier, which I think is really important to you. I know that's really important to me when I have a headache or migraine. So let's look at some of these potential quick fixes first. And if we look at these, kind of the first one, hydration, like we went over, as well as nutrition. Both of those are super important. Then we get into exercise, so low impact stuff. And what they mean by low impact stuff is you can do things like walking, you can go on a row machine, you can go on the elliptical. Swimming, I know, has helped a lot of people, as well as, like mentioned, yoga. That's very low impact, but at the same time is a super good workout. I'm not sure if you've done yoga at all, but if you haven't, it's a great workout. I know when I do it, I sweat a ton, and it's not even hot yoga, and I sweat a ton. The next one, massage. I have massage therapists in my office that I would be happy to refer you to. They do a great job. The next one, a daith piercing. Now this is something that's pretty interesting and something that I've heard good things about, and people that have gotten them that haven't had any sort of change whatsoever. It's a piercing, it's a certain area in the ear, and what this is supposed to do, it's supposed to stimulate some stuff and make it so you don't get headaches or migraines as often. Botox, this one is somewhat controversial, I feel. There's a lot of people that do it. Really what they do is they inject Botox into the neck area. What that does is it actually paralyzes the nerves going to the head, so it makes it so that really kind of the brain isn't receiving certain signals and whatnot, making it so you don't get headaches and migraines all the time. Dim the lights, that's something where if you are having a headache or migraine, I'm sure that's something you already do. That one's pretty common sense, but if you don't, definitely try dimming the lights. That can really decrease some of the strain that's on your eyes, just because if you need glasses or you have glasses and your prescription is not up to date, that can definitely cause straining of the eyes, which then can cause headaches and migraines as well. Medications, I'm sure if you are watching this, you are either on medications or have been prescribed certain medications. Whether you choose to take them or not, that is none of my business. That is outside of my scope of practice. But a lot of the people that I see in the office and that I talk to just at networking events and out in the public and just roaming around, a lot of people will say that they are on medications, but they don't really want to stay on them. They don't want to depend on them all the time. Essential oils, this one works really well for me. Like I said, I don't get a ton of headaches anymore, but when I do, if I just take some peppermint oil, rub it on my temple, that seems to help with my headaches a lot and almost get rid of them relatively quickly, along with working out. Meditation, this is one that a lot of people find to be really helpful, and just mindfulness. What that can do is it can decrease a lot of the stress. Like we talked about in that last video, stress, especially emotional stress, can lead to headaches and migraines. So if we are meditating, that can decrease that stress, hopefully making it so we don't experience so many headaches and migraines. And a last quick fix can be a hot or a cold pack. You can put this on the base of your neck, on your forehead, or really anywhere that feels best for you. Those are the places that I've found best for my clients, is to put a hot or a cold pack on either of those areas. I kind of allow the person to decide what works best for them, whether heating it up works best or having it chilled works best. I feel like it kind of depends on the person and the type of headache that they are experiencing. Okay, so like we said in that first slide, right when we started this whole guide, and we were looking at kind of like what is a headache or a migraine and stuff, we talked about how it's a neurological condition, which is definitely tied to the nervous system. And a lot of people, they've heard the term nervous system, but they don't really know what the nervous system is. So what is the nervous system? Well, here we have it. It's really the brain, the brainstem, and the spinal cord. It controls everything in the body. So what it does is messages originate from this brainstem area, which is right at the base of the brain. That message goes down to whatever cell, tissue, muscle, or organ via the spinal cord. It tells that cell, tissue, muscle, organ what to do, and then it sends a message back to the brain, kind of telling the brain what's going on, why it's going on, is everything okay, all of that stuff. If we have any sort of dysfunction going on in the nervous system, what that can cause, it can kind of cause a traffic jam of information going back to the brain, and these messages can't get back to the brain how they're supposed to, which in turn can potentially cause a headache or migraine, just because these messages aren't getting there how they're supposed to. There's a traffic jam of information and really all of that stuff. And what this can sometimes be caused by is it can be caused by what's called vertebral subluxation, or a misalignment of the top two bones in the neck. And when we have that misalignment of the top two bones in the neck, suddenly some people can call that a choke point, or suddenly the brain isn't getting to and from the brain how it's supposed to, as well as the cerebral spinal fluid. The cerebral spinal fluid nourishes the brain and the nervous system, as well as it kind of gets rid of any sort of toxin in the brain and the nervous system as well. So if we have this going on, it can cause like a built up pressure in the head. And I'll have a lot of people that talk about that they just feel like there's a pressure always in their head and their upper neck area, and they don't know what it is, but that can be causing it, that misalignment of those top two bones in the neck. Now the nervous system, it's broken down into a couple things. One being this sympathetic side, or this fight or flight side, the other being this parasympathetic side, or this calming and resting and digesting side. And what I find oftentimes when I talk to people and see people in the office is their nervous system is kind of stuck in this like parasympathetic or like fight or flight moment all the time. And if we're stuck in that moment and it's chronic stress and oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Then yeah, it's no wonder that we'll experience more headaches and those sort of things, or clench our jaw and have jaw pain, or not be able to sleep as well at night, and kind of all those things. And that's really how the nervous system has a huge role in headaches and migraines and those sort of things, that if those messages aren't getting tuned from the body how they're supposed to, then yeah, we're going to have those issues going on. Now we use a tool called computerized infrared thermography in the office. We use this at every single visit. This tells us really how the body is working and how the nervous system is working. And is there an issue with the nervous system, or is it working correctly? It tells us really, do we need to adjust or do we not need to adjust? And that's really a big way as to how I help people in my office kind of get long-term resolution and relief to headaches and migraines, which is obviously everyone's goal when they come in the office and if they're experiencing that sort of thing. Now that test, it doesn't put anything into the body. It's basically just measuring very specific temperature, which is under control by that parasympathetic or sympathetic response with the surface capillaries and all of that good stuff. I want to thank you so much for paying attention to this guide, the number one guide to crush headaches for good. And I'm looking forward to kind of continuing this conversation. You'll be receiving a few emails from me that go over some more information, go over some stories, some testimonials, and all that stuff. In the meantime, if this is something that you're interested in, feel free to reach out to me. I offer complimentary consultations for people. If you have any suggestions as to how we can make this better, I would love to hear them. In the meantime, I hope some of those quick fixes can really help you out and make it so that those headaches and migraines aren't lasting as long, that you can take the edge off them a little bit, and really, in the long run, make it so that you can live the life that you want to live and do the things that you want to do and not feel held back from chronic headaches and migraines. Thank you so much for paying attention. I'm Dr. Mike of the Specific Chiropractic Centers, and I'll see you next time.